Storytelling is an art form that surrounds us every day. Whether it's a mural that you've seen on your way to work, poetry that you've heard or even written, a great performance from your favorite movie or TV show, or maybe a book you read. It surrounds us all the time and it doesn't always get the credit that it deserves. This right here is a space where storytellers can come and tell their story. My name is Larry Rim, and this is the BackGround Lounge. What's going on, people? Welcome back to another episode of the BackGround Lounge. Today, we have a special guest in the building. This gentleman has over 100 credits. He is an actor, he is a director, he is a producer, and a teacher. You might have seen him in Monster. You may have seen him in The Conjuring. You may have seen him in Dahmer and a plethora of other things. Was it Just a Living? Was it from the Tyler Perry show?
Oh,
assisted living. Yes, assisted living. So he's working on plenty of projects. He has a lot of insight. I'm excited to talk to him today. Please give a round of applause to our guy, Mr. Chris Greene. What's up, brother?
What's up, brother? How you doing? That was a nice intro, man. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
I didn't realize it was that at this point that many credits. Man.
Oh yeah, I looked you up, man. I was like,
you lose track.
It said 109. I was like 109 credits. I was like, all right, brother.
At some of those we gonna take off though, beginning stuff.
Yeah. Don't look, we all have those that we're like, you know what? Don't look that one up.
Right.
You know what I mean? So yeah, man. So talk to us, man. How are you doing?
I'm good, man. I appreciate you having me on. And also, man, I think what you're doing is great. I want to start off with that, man.
Thank you.
The way you interview your previous guests and you could tell everybody's comfortable. And the insight, because a lot of these pods, man, they run of the mill by the book.
Mm-hmm.
I love what you're doing. You get to the point, and all of it's very educational.
Thank
so
you.
kudos to you, man. I want to give you flowers.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
Of course.
Flowers taken, man. I was looking at some of the stuff that you've done, and I was like, oh, I do remember you from, because I was looking at Dahmer. Me and my wife was watching Dahmer together, man, and I was like, one of them shows where I couldn't really binge watch it. I had to watch like one episode, and I was like, all right, I got to sit this down for a minute.
Yeah, it was tough.
It was very, very dark. You know what I mean? But watching you in it, I was like, oh man, okay, cool. It's like that face that you've seen, but you don't really think about it till you see him again. I'm like, oh, okay.
I'm that guy, man. There's actually a 2-part documentary. So everybody's familiar with recently the number one on the call sheet.
Yeah,
they did the males and the females.
Mm-hmm.
Back in 2012 or 2013, there's 2 documentaries that came out called The Guy Who Was in That Thing and The Gal Who Was in That Thing.
Yeah.
And they basically take supporting actors, blue-collar actors, character actors, and you see their face, and it's always, you know how we do, oh, Mikey from what's his name?
Yeah,
that's his character name. What's his real name?
Right.
I don't know, that guy. You've seen him on everything.
Right, exactly.
I found that my career has been that where I'll go somewhere, and it happened when I came in. I go somewhere and I've seen you somewhere before. And I'm like, yeah, I get that a lot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which it could be worse. Nobody could be watching my work.
Exactly.
So it used to bother me, but now I'm like, okay, at least people have seen my stuff. And if it's nothing negative coming out of their mouth afterwards, like, oh, you that guy that sucks. I'm like, all right, well, I guess I need to go back to class or something. But I'm appreciative of that, because I've been lucky to be a part of some projects that have gone, I guess viral, become cult classics. Like Dahmer was, they initially were boycotting that because the families didn't co-sign. You know what I mean? Ryan Davis, wow, excuse me, he's a funny comedian.
Yeah.
Ryan Murphy, he I guess he got the rights from Dahmer's family.
Okay.
But then his victims were like, nah. And it's Netflix. They're gonna do what they do. So when it first came out, it was kind of getting some backlash, but then I guess they saw the way he was telling the story, and it wasn't glorifying Dahmer. Right. It was more so like these were his victims, know who they were. I guess it kind of smoothed over a little bit.
Yeah, and I felt like they were really like getting behind the psychology of what he was doing.
Right.
Yeah, so that was really it was a good take, a good approach to getting it done.
Right.
Absolutely, man. But let's get started from the beginning, bro.
Yeah.
Mount Vernon. That's where you
Money
were born.
earning, yeah, man.
Yeah.
I was born in Mount Vernon. For those who don't know, and let me give a quick little education.
Sure.
I'm sure you guys know, but for those watching, that's why I'm looking over here. Mount Vernon is not upstate. I hate when people say that. If you've ever been to New York, there are 5 boroughs we all know about.
Yeah.
And any person who's from New York and grew up in New York knows that Staten Island, even though it's a borough, most people don't really go to Staten Island,
Right?
Unless you're from there,
Right.
You know, the Bronx is considered upstate to anybody in the city,
Okay.
You know, or uptown, I should say, to anybody in the city. It's like, oh, the Bronx is up there, cool. If you look on a map, it's like the Bronx is here, Mount Vernon is right here, and then Yonkers is right here. Then upstate is up here. So stop trying to clown us and play us. It doesn't. No,
hey,
we're
man,
not going for that.
Hey, man, talk your shit, man.
We're not going for that. We're not going for that. And plus, at the end of the day, the goat is from. What? If you could take a train there. You can take a train there. I'm just saying. It don't take me no 2 hours to get to the city. And plus the goat is from there.
Come on, man.
Denzel's from there. The goat is from there. So you know what it is. I was just born in Mount Vernon. We lived there until I was about 8 or 9, and then we moved to YO. We moved to Yonkers, you know.
Okay.
And everybody knows, if you know anything about that, DMX, Mary J.
Come on now.
You know, it's funny. My sister went to school with DMX's first wife, Tashira, and so I don't recall too much being around them because I was younger, but apparently they live like right down to all the Rough Riders and all them cats. Jada, all them live like down the block from where we were. You know what I mean? That whole area, School Street, High Street, that whole area, you know, we used to be over there. My sister used to live in Slow Bomb, so it was like projects areas, like a lot of them used to come through there. But I don't recall because I was too young really, and they were all older. Like I'm the youngest out of 5.
Oh, word.
So, you know, they were all in high school and getting ready to go to college and stuff by the time I got old enough to really, you know, remember stuff. And they were usually babysitting and couldn't stand
I got
it.
you.
But
can't go out there with them.
Right. But no, New York is always home, man. It's great. You know, it was a different time then though, man. I was actually talking to one of my homeboys about that, who's from New York. We didn't grow up together, but he was, you know, he's from Brooklyn. And he's also in the game, he asked. And he was like, man, you remember back in the day when, like, we used to be able to be at home at, like, 9, 10, 11 years old in the projects and just go outside when we wanted, come back, do whatever, as long as he's back before the street lights came on.
Yeah.
And I was listening to him talk about that. I was like, my daughter's about to be 16. I was like, and she lives in Florida. And she lives in a nice neighborhood, you know, nothing crazy. But there's so many crazy people in the world. I would never, at 11, 12, there was no way in the world I was leaving her by herself at home.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so it was interesting to see how much things have changed since then when we have more access through technology. But I think the parents trusted you more. Like, boy, you ain't dumb enough I'll whoop your ass. You know what I mean? Like, and that was enough fear. But now these kids are.
They reckless. And like
reckless,
you said,
man.
Just like you said, too much access. When I was young, my mom would have me home by myself at 7 years old.
Right.
7 years old, home by myself. You better not open that door for nobody.
Exactly.
That kind of thing.
And you knew
better. Well, I did one time, and me opening the door that day got my mom's truck repossessed.
Oh man!
Yeah, so you talk about an ass whooping when I got home. Yeah,
it was over
absolutely.
It was over for you.
Bad story for another time. but I totally understand. Like we used to we used to
I need to sit up more.
Talk about the shirt.
Yeah. Oh, you know.
Definitely gonna hop on that. I'm definitely gonna hop on that in a minute. But yeah, it's just different times.
Right.
Definitely different times now. What were your parents like growing
up? Nobody. As far as I remember, you know, one of my brothers. So I have a brother and sister on my mother's side, brother and sister on my father's side. I actually was the mistake child, as I call it. My parents were, you know, married before they met each other. They got together like, oh, we already have kids, they're already grown, no more kids, it's a wrap. And it's like, all right, cool. My mom's supposedly got her tubes tied. You know, back then that wasn't really a thing. And so, you know, she came up pregnant. Pops was like, what the hell is going on? We too old for that at this point. So yeah, I definitely wasn't planned, but my mom's worked retail. And then she worked like medical records, you know, clerical work.
Gotcha.
And then Pops was a florist. And so neither one of them was ever really into the arts or anything like that. You know, my sister, my youngest sister, so older than me, but younger out of the two, she did dance for a while, but, you know, wasn't really her thing.
Wasn't her thing.
So when I got into music, I actually started playing drums when I got into that. And how I got into drums was I wanted to play saxophone because I used to watch The Simpsons a lot. And so I was like, oh, Lisa's getting out of any trouble. She plays the saxophone. She got in trouble. I'm like, that's the way to go right there. Like, if I get in trouble, boom, I'll play the sax. I'm out of here. And, you know, black people, we got full lips. And if you know anything about woodwind instruments, your embouchure has to be really, really tight. So I couldn't get a note out.
Really?
That's why, a lot of us excel in playing like trumpets and stuff like that. That's a story for another time.
Yeah,
I know I
yeah,
sound
yeah,
like
yeah.
a band head, but
Oh
I
well,
am.
no, it's cool. But it's a good good segue because I wanted to talk about how you got into the arts.
Right.
Like how you got into the arts. Also, what would your parents and your siblings like growing up, like how would they identify you, like, or how would they describe you? Like what type of kid were
Oh
you
man,
growing up?
annoying. Definitely get on your damn nerves. Just always in the way.
Yeah.
My sister Yolanda was the one that primarily used to wind up getting stuck babysitting me because my brother already went to the military. My other sister Vera, we call Snug, she lived a little like across town, so it was a little weird to kind of get over there or whatever. And then my other brother was working corrections, Rob. So he was always working. He worked corrections, worked at Valhalla, which is a jail upstate New York. So, my sister was really the only one that had time when my mom was out working mad jobs. So she was the one that was always annoyed because she had to watch her little brother all the time. But
sound like my mom.
Yeah.
My mom used to have to watch my aunt, her youngest sister,
right,
all the
right.
time. Yeah.
I mean, if you ask my siblings, I guess they would say I was always getting into stuff, man, always active, but not trouble. You know what I mean? Like I'm the type of cat that I would look at, a tripod or something and go, how is that? And I would take it apart and try to put it back together. Like I would mess with stuff in that way. Some stuff I would break, I had no business playing with, and I get my ass whooped. But I was always curious that way.
Yeah.
And so that led into the music thing. Like I said, I couldn't play sax. So my band teacher, Paul Bernardi at Pearls School in Yonkers, he gave me some drumsticks. He's like, go back there and beat on the drums because you suck at everything else. And that actually wound up being, I took to that really well. And so my pops bought me a drum set. My mom should be pissed because she would get complaints. We in an apartment and, in the projects and we sitting there, I'm sitting there beating on the drums.
Banging drums, right?
Oh my God, your kid, like, go and get evicted kind of thing. And moms was pissed about that till that scholarship came around. Okay. Then it was just like, oh, we're going to give your son money to play at our school. And she was like, baby, you better beat them drums. You know what I mean?
Where'd you end up going?
Winston-Salem State University, man.
Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Come on, man. That's my home. That's my home, North Carolina. Yeah.
Okay, that's what's up. Yeah. That Trey 4 area, man, that was a weird experience, man. I went from New York to the South. My mother's originally from North Carolina.
Okay.
She's from Kinston.
Wait.
Yeah.
Freeze.
My mom's from Kinston.
I'm from Kinston.
Well, we might have to talk afterwards.
Yeah,
my mom's side of the family's from Kinston. My dad's side of the family's from Chase City, Virginia. So they're both Southerners.
We might be cousins.
Listen, hey, listen, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised. We have to talk about that.
Nobody really talks about Kinston at all.
Yeah.
But Jerry Stackhouse, Brandon Ingram, like
Yeah. Mom Dukes is from that area, man. And then they, obviously she moved to New York. But so she, I kind of got Fresh Prince, man. The block got too hot. Why there's, if you know, but Puerto Ricans and blacks weren't really getting along in the 90s in New York, especially in Yonkers. So mom was just like, nah, we out of here. After one of my homeboys got carved up, she was like, nope, time to go.
Ooh, okay.
So, unfortunately moved to North Carolina. I hated it.
Did he live? He's
he was good, but you know how that go, man. Like she like, you hanging around with them? Nah, we ain't doing that.
It's only a matter of time.
Right. So we pieced out. Went to like the whitest of white high schools where they drove like tractors to school. Yeah, that was a big shock from New York to the South.
Of course.
That was the first time I actually heard, like I'd heard it on movies, but that was the first time I had a white person go to me on, that colored boy over there. I was like, yo, we still use that? Like, what's going on? It was crazy. It was crazy. And then I wanted to piece out from North Carolina and go back to New York. And they offered me a scholarship. I had no intentions of going to college, honestly. I mean, mom was like, nah, you're going to go. But I had no intentions of going. It just wasn't. I was like, why? For what? Yeah. And I didn't know what I wanted to do, but I just was like, there's no reason for me to go. And then I got the scholarship to Winston-Salem State, and it was like, all right, cool. And my sophomore year in college, North Carolina School of the Arts, was like not even 10 minutes from there. And there was a guy who was dual enrolled in both schools. He was mass communication, but then he was going to School of the Arts for writing, directing. And he was like, yo, man, why don't you come be, background in this independent film? My professor's doing a thesis film. It's called Chicks 101. Why don't you come and, be background in that? And I'm like, what the hell is background? What the hell does that mean? He's like, oh, like an extra. And I was like, all right, what am I supposed to be doing? He's like, man, you just, dress up, come out, it's a club scene, just come and chill. And I was like, man, I ain't trying to do all that, man. Like, that's whack. Acting's for losers. That's trash. You know what I mean? Yeah. And he was like, it's going to be girls' day. I was like, what time I need to be there?
Come on,
like, man. What time? 6? I'll be there at 5.
You should have led with that part.
Exactly. Like, you doing all this other stuff. Shorties is going to be there. That's all you had to tell me.
Right.
And that's when the bug got me. I got there. They took this Dollar Tree. I think it was a Dollar Tree. It was some like other store. And Set Deck and Production built that joint out into a club. And I walked in. I was like, yo, didn't this used to be? And he was like, yeah. And watching them work and watching them shoot the scene, and this is still on film back then, I'm like, y'all get paid for this? Like, yeah, man. I was like, I'm going to have to change my major.
Yeah.
Like, this is dope.
Yeah.
And from there, man, that's when everything took off, man. So playing the drums obviously led me to go to school and then led me to that. And so I was sneaking in classes over there. I was auditioning for this stuff, obviously.
Yeah.
And then once I understood that training was key, then it was like, all right, this is what I want to do. I don't want to be a music teacher anymore. I don't want to play professionally for any band or anything. I want to go and I want to be an actor.
So during that time, did you go and so you started taking classes, like acting classes around that time, or were you doing theater? Did you start doing theater?
What happened was I would just go to school, and if somebody happened to open a door and I could watch, I would kind of do that. Because I ain't paying no type of tuition. So I was just kind of sneaking in. Look, statute of limitations, man. Look, it was so long ago. School already shall be.
Yeah, we had Twinkie Bird up here, and a lot of opportunities that she got was simply her just taking initiative.
Right.
You know what I mean?
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
So you just took initiative.
Yeah.
This is something that I want to do. I don't necessarily have the resources to do it.
Right.
But if I can find a way in there, then I'm gonna find my way in. They kick me out. They kick me out.
Your network is your net worth always. If I didn't have people I was cool with over there at School of Arts, like I wouldn't have been able to go to sneak into some of those classes and see what's going on. You never know who you're going to meet and what they have access to. That's why, you just gotta be a good person, man. Just be nice to people. Yeah. You don't have to ask kiss, but just being rude to people for no reason, man. I never understood that. I never understood that.
And then in college, like, you could literally sit in on the class. The professor ain't really gonna say anything.
They really not paying attention.
They don't really care.
Not.
They're here to make their money and whatever. I let admin take care of all that.
Right. Yeah. Right. It's like, yo, man, as long as you're not disrupting anything, they don't know who the hell's in their class. I mean, they know who's passing, they know who's failing, but
especially lecture class. Yeah.
Right. And then it's, School of the Arts. So it's like, they're excited that people are actually in there because it's like we're a specific school for a specific thing. Yeah. It's not like, you're going to come in here and be a therapist when you leave or a doctor or anything. It's like you're here because you're trying to get into the arts in some way, shape, or form. Yeah. And so that was cool. And then, yeah, man, just from there, just started training, taking classes. And, you know how that go. You just forever lifelong student.
Yeah. And so from there, once you started getting opportunities to actually act, booking things on camera, like how long was it from the time you started taking classes to the very first time you were booked for a project?
So this was, yes, I'm dating myself. This was when I started really getting into acting or got exposed to it. This was 2001, 2002. 2001 was when I first got exposed to it because it was shortly before September 11th. And then 2002 is when I started going, all right, let me go into a class or whatever. My mistake was thinking, because, Light Skin Brothers was still in back then. You know what I'm saying? We were still in. We kind of.
I don't know, man.
Michael Ealy holding us down.
Michael Ealy, okay.
He's holding us down.
But you still had Idris from The Wire, who was like,
listen, I'm not mad. Let my dark skin brothers, hey, y'all do your thing. I'm glad, ladies is liking it, but I'm trying to make us, have to come back or something.
Nah, y'all was always cool.
Yeah, we did all right. We did all right. So it was like I thought, all right, man, I'm a decent looking brother. I'm gonna just go to LA and they gonna see my face and I'm gonna just book everything. Yeah. And I went to LA for the first time in 2003. And I went to an audition for like a SAG indie joint. I can't remember what it was. I went to an audition and went in there and saw how many brothers was in there like put together. Yeah. And this was back when you could hear everybody auditioning. I went in that room and shit the bed so bad and came back out and Cassie's like, I was like, oh, and luckily one of them was like, hey man, if you're gonna do this, you gotta take it serious, bro. You need to train. Yeah. And as soon as I got back to North Carolina, my ass signed up for a class immediately. Immediately. That experience opened my eyes to, you can't just be a good-looking dude or a pretty girl and going at and this was back then. I mean, now you can get away with it now because of social media, but even still, you're not gonna have longevity in the career. None. If you have nothing to back it up. You're one trick pony, they're gonna find that. Yeah. So I'd say I really started getting into stuff in like 2004.
Okay.
Is when I really started getting into things, and you know, the first thing I booked was an industrial. Then I booked a Chevy commercial with Howie Long, and that got me my eligibility. And then from there, I started doing like short films, and then you build your way up from there, independent films and stuff. So really, 2004 is really when it, you know, started, you know, getting the auditions and stuff. I got my first agent, I think, like a year after that. After that class I was in, like 2005. Yeah, I got my first agent, Talent One, Ann Green and Talent One out in Wilmington, North Carolina.
I've had to drive out to Wilmington a few times.
Yeah, and the only and I'll say this: the only reason why I think she signed me is because we spelled our last names the same way.
Really?
Yeah. So
hey, man, whatever helps.
Listen, but I mean, I started getting commercial work and working with her, you know, all that. So you know, no complaints. And then from there, I started realizing that I had to understand the business aspect too. Because you could be the best actor in the world, but if you don't understand the business, it's what's called show business. You know, unfortunately, the business side has taken over way more than the show side. But, you know, in any profession, you have to know everything about your profession. You can't just, you know, yes, be a craftsman, be a craftswoman, but understand this as a business aspect to it too.
Yeah, and I would ask you, you know, when it comes to the business side of it, I've noticed that you've been able to seem like you're consistently working. You're working all the time. Yeah. And for many of us, a lot of us don't necessarily want to be famous. We just want to be able to work consistently.
Right.
And be able to have this be our full-time thing where we can pay all of our bills and all that thing. It seemed like you've been able to be pretty consistent at it. So what would you say kept the consistency going?
The work, man. I'm gonna go ahead and quote the GOAT, Denzel, because you know, we got to say his name correctly.
Right. Denzel.
Denzel. Right. He was interviewed about the whole social media thing, and I'm paraphrasing. And he said, "You're famous because you're good. You're not good because you're famous."
Yeah.
You know, and people I don't think they understand that. It's like he's what we know as great because he consistently does great work, and then that brings the audience.
Absolutely.
You know, I think people are of the impression that because I have 1 million followers, that means I'm great at what I do. And that's already been proven time and time again. That's not true. You know what I mean? And there's no shade to anybody who has that. It's just simply like, when it comes to getting on that stage or getting on that set, I know I'm good in 3-4 takes at best. You know what I mean? Like I can probably do it in 2. I don't need 20.
Yeah.
You probably do. How many times did you have to record that Vine thing or, you know, Instagram or Snapchat thing before you actually put it up? We don't have that luxury of doing that on set. Nope. You definitely don't have that luxury of doing that on stage.
Right.
So you got to be prepared. You got to have your craft down. And to me, I focus on that. Like I'm truly a student of the craft. Like before I go to bed, I'm studying something. I'm going back over scripts. I'm like bringing stuff down. It helps when you teach because obviously you have to be prepared on that.
Absolutely. And you learn a lot from your students.
And you learn a lot from your students too. Like you're reminded of the little things. And so I've been fortunate. I've noticed that even though it's not been, you know, a lead in something every time, you know what I mean? Or a series regular on something, you know, I'm consistently being able to work every year for at least the last 12 years. Yeah. Where I look at some people and they're like, they go 2 or 3 years without working.
Yep.
And I'm just like, but I'm a workhorse, man. I'm going to go find it one way or another. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like I'm not going to not work. I'm going to find something quality to work on or find a character to work on or, you know, knock on the door and keep pestering my team. Look, you need to submit me for that. I just did that.
Yeah.
I just did that for a show that's getting ready to start shooting. And I happened to come across a breakdown. And I was like, why am I not auditioning for this? And so I did my team. I was like, either you hit them up and tell them, you know, send the sides, or I'm going to just crash the audition. So you let me know what you want to do. And the next day, now I got an audition. I'm like, why do I have to go through all that, though? Yeah. You saw the breakdown. You already know I should have been auditioning for this.
Yeah, exactly.
So
your team got to know you. They got to have a clear understanding of what type of talent they're working with.
Right.
You know, so, and they need to be, I mean, even though you may have an agent manager, you still have to do your due diligence. 100%. You know, 100%. You don't just sit back and wait for stuff to fall in your lap because that's 100%. Not how it really works. But at the same time, you need a team that I expect you to be just as diligent as I am as far as finding work. Because if I don't work, you don't get paid. So,
and even then, they might not rock with you. I mean, and again, this was up on social. This is nothing new. Yeah. I used to be with People Store, who's now, you know, Evolution here. They dropped me while I was on set making no money. And in a generic ass email, me and my daughter, we both had made the money that year. And I get an email while I'm on set making you money. Hey, you know, we're dropping you. I'm like,
Makes no
What?
sense. No sense. I'm
And so
literally.
I was tight, not because of you dropping me. I'm gonna get another agent. That's your loss. You're not gonna find another me. I was tight by the way you did it.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, you think you getting commission off this one, huh?
That shit come straight to me.
Exactly. Yeah. And
Yeah.
good luck getting it. I was like, because I'm dropped. So, you know,
Mhm.
it is what it is. And the crazy thing is the gig that I worked, I facilitated getting that.
Wow.
That's the crazy part. Because
Wow.
I knew somebody on production. So I was like, I brought this to you when I didn't have to.
Mhm.
So when you say your agent and your managers need to know you, in some instances, I feel like even if they know you,
Mhm.
if you're not consistently making them money or somebody that they deem as a cash cow,
Mhm.
you know, you're replaceable. You're 100% replaceable.
Yeah.
And I think it's harder for us too, especially as Black talent. It's not to make it a race thing, but it's just fact. A lot of the breakdowns coming out of open ethnicity, which 9 times out of 10 go to white actors or actresses. Period. We all know this. We're not dumb. If you actually look at it, open ethnicity, sure, but then why is it always a white person
Yeah.
or an ambiguous person getting it?
Yeah.
When it's open ethnicity, there's no Asian dudes, there's no Black dudes, no Indian dudes that could have got that. Like it's always the white dude. Like I don't get it.
It's weird.
And I think if having sometimes I feel like you have to have a mixed up team. Like you have to have ladies on the team. You have to have, if you're Black, somebody Black on the team, or if you're Latin, somebody Latin on the team.
Mhm.
You know, yeah, you got to have, you know, that person that has the connections, all that. But I think your team has to be diverse. But I think having people on the team that understand the industry, but like you said, also have to know you and know you intimately. And I don't mean you got to be best friends and go out have lunch, but like, I always looked at it as, for me, I can't, if I'm a manager, right? Let's say if I was a manager and I'm managing, you know, a young Black female.
Mhm.
If I submit her for a role because I'm thinking, all right, cool, yeah, this is gonna be it. If she reads the script and she goes like, nah, that's not what we go through. Like that doesn't represent us. I'm not gonna force her to do it.
Yeah.
Oh, go get this check. Go. No, like I'm not a young Black female. I don't understand where her mindset is right now. So how can I force her to audition for this? I'd rather her be honest and be like, nah, this ain't it. You know what I mean? Now, if you telling me this ain't it because they ain't the lead, now we got a problem. No, you got to work your way up.
Yeah.
But if there's a reason you're telling me it's like, no, this, I don't feel like this represents me. I don't feel like this represents us. Why would I force you? And a lot of times agents don't want to hear that. Well, if you turn this down, they're not going to audition you anymore and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, you're missing the point.
Nah, you got to know who you have. And
Right.
the best, you know, I grew up playing sports. So to me, the best coaches that I've ever had weren't necessarily the coaches that would try to fit you into their system.
Mhm.
It was the coaches that would take a gauge of who they have, what type
Right.
of personnel they have, and where their
Right.
strengths are, and then create their program
Right.
around your strengths. You know what I mean? So the same thing with an agent.
Mhm.
Like you need to know what type of talent you have
Right.
and try to cater that. You know
Right.
what I mean? And work toward putting them in the best possible situation where
Right.
you know they're going to thrive and book and all that.
Right.
So, yeah.
Right.
My question, I got 2 questions.
Sure.
One is when you receive the work,
Mhm.
because a lot of actors, especially actors that aren't working as much, when they see actors that are working, one of the questions is, what is the approach to it? Like when you first get your script, when you first get the role, how do you approach it? That's the first question.
Okay. I take tools from several different things. So I've been fortunate enough to study a lot of different systems and techniques with people who are like 2nd, 3rd degree removed from the source.
Understand.
So whether it was, Meisner, or whether it was Strasberg's system,
Uda Hagen.
Uda Hagen, Chekhov, the list goes on and on and on. I'm a big fan of Adler's approach because everything starts with the script for me, and script analysis is key. I think a lot of people miss a lot of things when they don't really truly know how to analyze a script. I get a script. The first thing I do is I read it at a minimum of 10 times. I'll read it silently. I'll read it out loud. And that's part of how I teach my students. I read it silently. Then I'll read just my lines out loud. Then I'll read just the other characters' lines out loud. And then I'll read everything out loud. And then I'll just read it again silently over and over and over. And for me, why that works is because when you hear, most people, they get a script and they just go over their lines and they keep saying their lines. You're hearing your lines out loud, cool. You're not hearing the other lines. And so even though it's still your voice, naturally the actor in you starts doing different voices and different things. If it's female, it's like, you'll lighten your voice up if you're a guy, or, if it's a different ethnicity, you'll try to, do that sort of thing. And it just gives you, to me, it helps paint the world that this character is in. And then I'll start making my notes.
Understand.
I'll start looking at why these words are here. Like to me, I guess simply my approach is when I get a script, I look at it like it's puzzle pieces.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if I took 1,000-piece puzzle right now and I dumped all the pieces on the table,
Mm-hmm.
you'd still be able to put the puzzle together. It's going to take you a lot longer. You're going to match the pieces up based where they go, okay, this piece, these colors look the same, blah, blah, blah. But it's a lot easier if I give you the box and go, this is what's supposed to be, this is what's supposed to look like. Now, everybody's not going to start the same way. You might start in the middle. You know, they might start in the corners.
On the edges.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
But you're at the end of the day, everybody's puzzle piece should look like this.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That's your script. To me, I start taking the words. I might start in the middle. I might start here and taking the words and go, why is this piece here? Why does this piece look like this?
Mm.
What is he saying? Why is he responding to this character a certain way?
Yeah.
And then that's how I'll go through it. And then I'll do my tape. Like this notorious thing of, and it sucks. I think fully, and I'll say it with my chest, the auditioning process sucks now. And it's been sucking for the past 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
This whole thing about,
it's
not about self-tape in the room. It's not that. The whole idea of, I'm going to give you 8 pages of dialogue from this pilot or from this movie, and I need that shit in 24 hours or 48 hours. What is wrong with you?
Yeah.
Why? You're not going to get a quality performance from any actor. I don't care who it is.
It's going to be very surfaced.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
You know, hell, some actors need 24 hours just for a one-liner because there's so much you can say with that. Mm-hmm. Why are you giving this to me knowing full well you have more time than that? And if casting goes, that's not my fault. Okay, well, you're casting. Talk to production and go, they need more time than that. Didn't we just go through this whole thing when we had the strike and that was part of the deal that went into our contracts? We need more than 48 hours. So many actors that I've talked to are like, I'm not getting that. Most actors are not going to call SAG because now you look like a difficult asshole or you look like the bitch on camp. You know, like, oh, you're being difficult. Like, why? Yeah. You know what I mean? Because I asked you for more time to do my job the best way I know how to do it and be quality. Mm-hmm. You know, casting don't have that problem. They don't give casting, and I know because I help with casting, they don't give casting a whole script and go, cast that in 24 hours. No, you got a heads up on that. You got production meetings, you got all that. Mm-hmm. So why are you giving us less than 3 days to do some of this stuff? Now, granted, if it's 1 or 2 lines, I could get, all right, we need it in a day or 2. Mm-hmm. But when you're sending people 3, 4 scenes, and then you're wanting 2 takes per scene,
right?
What are we talking about here?
Right.
So for me, I turn my shit in last minute always. Mm-hmm. I'll look at it. Look, if I'm the guy, I'm the guy. If not, then best of luck to whoever it is. Mm-hmm. That's honestly how I got Dahmer, and they actually cut my scene. So the scene I have with Evan Peters, that 5-minute scene, that got cut down tremendously. Mm-hmm. That was 13 pages, and majority of that was me talking. Wow. And him listening, him chiming in here and there and listening. That was my audition scene, and I had less than 24 hours to turn that in. And when I got to set, Paris Barclay, amazing director. If you don't know who he is, look him up. He's directed amazing TV. Mm-hmm. Paris Barclay was talking to me. He was like, man, you know, you did solid work, blah, blah, blah. And Paris is straightforward. Like, he don't bullshit. Yeah. You know, but he was in passing. Like, great work, and kept going. I was like, thanks, man. That, you know, that was my audition scene. He stopped and turned around. I was like, what? I said, yeah, that was my audition scene. He was like, you're lying. Mm-hmm. And I pulled up the tape. He was like, why would they do that to you? Yeah. Out of all the other scenes your character had, why would they send? That's stupid. Why would they send you the whole scene? I said, you got to talk to production about that, bro.
But it happens all the time.
Yeah, all the time. And so that's typically my approach is I'll write all these notes, and then, you know, I'll understand what's going on with the character and what they're saying, and then I go and put it on tape. And I'll rehearse it several times, but I'm not one of these guys that's going to tape 10 tapes. You know what I mean? Like, after 3, I'm done with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I say for the most part I try to do 3 and free. Now if it's one of those situations where I'm just getting it and I didn't really get a chance to really look at it until then it's like, all right, let's kind of work with this a little bit. Let's hear it out loud. Let's kind of play around with some ideas. But outside of that, if I've had it and I've got to look at it like, yeah, 3 and free. If you got, and then the person I normally trust the people I tape with, and I'm like, did you see anything that I might not have seen? And
that's key.
Kind of give me some suggestions. Yeah. And I'll try to make adjustments. But yeah, after that,
that's key.
I typically only send in if they ask for multiple takes, I'm 2.
That's all you need.
And I'm done too. Because a lot of times the changes aren't really that much of a significant change. Right. Yeah. So I totally get it.
And they give you, if there's that many scenes, they give you context.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, as far as like breakdown and, okay, this scene is right before this scene is after this scene. Mm-hmm. So, you know, it's those one-liners you get. They don't give you much. But it's like I tell people, take your time with that. Yeah. Because first of all, that's your opportunity to showcase what you can do because you don't have a lot of context. So you can create this world. Mm-hmm. But also, you know, yes, it's just say your line and get out of the way.
Yeah.
But there's life before that and life after that.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? It's not just what was your character going through before they came up to the table and said, "Here's your coffee." Are they being rude about it because the person that was you're serving is rude?
Mm-hmm.
You know, did they get cursed out by the chef?
Yeah.
Did they get bad news before they did this? Did they get great news before they did this? Are they at the end of their shift, beginning of the shift? See all that, and yes, you're still coming in and saying, "Here's your coffee," but it's not what you say; it's how you say it.
Yeah,
you know
absolutely.
I mean?
And even outside of that, like when I talk to students as well, it's like you said, what led us here?
Mm-hmm.
What is it that you need right now?
Mm-hmm.
Why do you need it right now? Why do you need it today? And if you do not get it, what happens?
Right.
So having an understanding of that also raises the stakes as to how am I approaching it,
Right.
you know, or what have you. You know what I mean? So that's dope.
Yeah.
When it comes to trials and tribulations within the industry, you know what I mean? I would say, like, what would you say, like, some of your pitfalls during your walk?
Financial is always going to be an issue.
Yeah.
Financial is always going to be an issue. Becoming a father. I was on my way to moving to LA in 2010 or 2009. I was going to be moving to LA from Florida, and I had got the call that, you know, I was going to be a dad, and I was just like, well, can't go to LA now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I could have, but I just didn't want to be that dad that wasn't active, like that paycheck dad. So yeah, I got that news I was going to be a dad, and so I was like, you know, I didn't want to be that paycheck dad, you know what I mean? So I was like, all right, I can still travel and go back and forth to LA, New York, whatever, and still be present. So that was the thing. And not that it was a bad, you know, obstacle or whatever, because I'm grateful for my daughter. She literally saved my life. So
but you always think, like,
you know, you do.
I had this one plan. Cause same thing. I was pregnant with my daughter. You know,
you were pregnant.
I was pregnant. Yeah.
Listen, brother, we gotta talk.
I was carrying, and so look, whole new science. Hey, look, the CDC might want to do some observations, but
right.
You know, no. Well, my wife, now wife, was pregnant with our daughter, and I was like, dang. Around that time, I had finished the second season of the Quad.
Okay.
I got a bunch of residuals.
Yeah, man.
Some crazy residuals, right? And I was like, now I can go to LA.
This is
just enough cushion I need to go to LA.
Right.
And then she's like, we pregnant, bro. And I was like, oh. So now, because a lot of that money was sustaining us now in bills. It was because at that time I wasn't really working. I was doing music at one time. I stopped touring, and medical bills, all this stuff,
man. That's it.
Took all my money.
That's it.
You know,
yeah. People don't realize, man, those residuals are not coming weekly.
No,
you know, they're quarterly. So it's like you got to hold on to that.
Yeah.
And that was my thing. I was like, all right, I got enough to go to LA, and I'll be good for like 3 months.
Yep.
But I had enough connections out there where if I get in a jam, I got some couches I can go to. And I found that out, and I was like, well, guess that ain't happening, you know? And so that was the thing, because it limited what I was able to do at that time.
Yeah.
Right. You know, as she got older, and it was like, all right, cool, I got freedom now, I can get up out of here. Some of the other things I ran into became a lot of just, I call it political BS, man. Like, oh, we need you to be active on social media. And I'm like, oh, I'm old school, dude. Like, I don't, what does that mean? You know what I mean? Like, that I can understand after you get the gig and you're promoting it.
You're promoting, yeah.
But
just on a day-to-day,
but just
you want to know what I have for breakfast?
Yeah,
like who cares?
That's crazy to me.
Right.
Believe it or not, man, you know, and this is gonna, I know this is gonna sound crazy. I may not necessarily come across that way, but I can promise you, I'm probably one of the, and because I went to an HBCU, and didn't learn much about not just my history, but Black history in general, being in New York. Like, New York is like everybody moves and shakes with everybody. It's all good. And then getting to the South and going to a white high school, they definitely not teaching that.
Yeah.
So getting to an HBCU and realizing, oh, there's a lot that I don't know. And then diving into that, that's when I really started to fall in love with our history and our culture. And then working on Birth of a Nation made it even better.
Yeah, I saw it. Yeah,
it made it even better.
I saw the clip, and I love that movie.
Yeah,
Nate Parker did his thing.
Yeah, and it was so much that I learned just on the month or so that we were on that movie, and so I love our people, I just don't like when our people do dumb shit.
Respect.
So,
Yeah.
and they know better. Like, it's one thing to be uneducated, it's another thing to be ignorant. So, in regards to trials and tribulations, the biggest hangups that I have had in my career, unfortunately, have come from us. Whether it was Black casting directors or it was Black agents that I had. And when I say roadblocks, like unnecessary roadblocks, to a point I'm asking, I could understand if you were white and telling me this. It'd still be wrong. What's the pushback? Like,
I would think you would understand.
You should, of all people, should understand this, right? Like, why am I getting this type of energy? And I found that it was like, okay, cool. It's either A, jealousy, or B, ego. Yeah. And neither one are good in a partnership at all. And so that, as of the last 7 or 8 years or so of my career, had been a thing. And when I got to the point, I was like, you know what? I can still be for us, and I don't necessarily have to dive headfirst into, well, everything's gotta be blackity black. Like, I'm rooting for everybody black. Like, I love that quote that Issa said, but I'm like, nah, I ain't gonna do that, because not all skin folk is kinfolk. You know what I mean?
I was just about to say that.
So it's like you still gotta watch, especially in this industry. Yeah, even outside this industry is different, but in this industry, you gotta watch everybody, man. Yeah, you gotta watch everybody, because not everybody has your best interest at heart, and some people will try to sabotage you. Like, I've been in rooms where I'm about to go shake somebody's hand, and somebody that I'm cool with and trust is like, yeah, hey, Chris, let me holler at you. No. Yeah. Nah. You don't want to rock with that person. What you mean? Come here, let me tell you. And I'm like, oh, word, they moving like that? Yeah. Like, I just met this person. Why they get just slick about me? Yeah. Right.
But it's a lot of people that like that. And of course, I've come across more of our folks that you hear more whispers about than the other.
Right. Right. And it's sad, man, because we truly, our impact is the majority in this industry, but the people that are making the decisions are the minority. Like, we have such an impact every time we're on screen, every time we write something, every time we do a play, everything we do, we 100% move the culture forward. Yeah. But we're not the ones making the decisions in this industry. So it's like, why would you make it harder on yourself? I never understood that. Why make it harder by attacking the people that you're supposed to be working with to lift? And at the end of the day, this whole, it can only be one, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. So, like,
there's room for everybody.
They leapfrog. Yeah. You know, you don't see Italians, you don't see Jewish people, you don't see Asian people, you don't see Latin people doing this shit. It's always us that it's like, oh, no, we can't, because if I help you, then they ain't gonna let both of us in. Who said? Where'd that come from?
Right. And who made this room this small?
That 100%. Apparently we did. Yeah. So I'm like, all right, man, we got to be better. And I think there are people out there making it better and making moves, and shout out to them. But again, it's like they're not getting the support that they need, and I hate that. So I try my best to just, if I can help somebody in any way, man, I always do it. And if you do follow me on social, you'll see I'm the biggest champion of creatives, especially Black creatives. Yeah. Like, I don't care if I've ever met that actor or actress or that writer or director. If they put up something and I'm a fan of it, I share it on my story. Look, this is not an ad. I'm not getting paid for this. I'm not a part of this project. It's just dope, and you need to watch it. Yeah. I'm the first person to do that.
What do you say to your so you mentor? You say mentoring the whole actor. Is that what does that mean?
So I think a lot of my experience with a lot of coaches is they either work with you on the craft or they work with you on the business, and then
that's it. One of the
shoot you on your way.
Yeah.
And the whole reason why my acting studio is called Life of an Actor, shout out
Life of an Actor.
The whole reason why I call it that is because I found from talking to OGs, one in particular, Roger Gunvor Smith, who I worked with in Birth of a Nation, amazing actor. If you guys don't know who he is, he's known for his one-man show for Rodney King, but he's always in movies with Denzel. He's a light-skinned brother that's always in the movies with Denzel. That's like, like on He Got Game, he was the cat riding around in the Benz, and it was like, "Pig me, motherfuckers." And he played Denzel's cousin in American Gangster. So he was telling me, man, like, in order to be a great storyteller, or the great storytellers of our time, they all have one thing in common. They went and experienced and lived life. Yeah. How can you have stories to tell when you've not gone out and experienced anything? Like, you it's not that you can't tell them, they're just not going to be as impactful because they're not coming from that first person experience. So to me, I wanted to let actors know when I'm working with them, like, yo, once we're done in class, go live life. Yeah. Go do something. Like, I'm scared of heights. Okay, go get on a 12-foot ladder.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? That's still high to you. It may not be nothing to me, but go do that. You know, go out and go to the zoo. You're scared of animals, but go to the zoo. They're behind cages. Go do something so you at least you're afraid because somebody told you about this.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't go experience it yet. And you go, oh, this isn't that bad. Or nah, for real, I'm totally scared of it. I don't want to do that. But at least now when you tell that story, it's coming from an authentic place.
Yeah.
So now when you get these characters who are basically living a certain life, you have something to tie it to.
Exactly.
So it's like, okay, you know, what is your lifestyle like? If you're living this crazy, messed up lifestyle, that's cool. Then you're probably going to be good at playing the bad guys.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you're, you know, bad with relationships with people, where it's like, you know, you're an introvert and you never want to talk to people, whatever, then those are the characters you need to kind of go at. Not to say you can't play the other ones, but your life experience to me dictates kind of how easy it is for you to grasp certain things or understand certain things, and how much work you have to put in on the things you don't know, which means you have to go do the research. So when I say the whole actor, like, it's not just working on your craft or working on your movement or something, or understanding the business. It's like, yo, lifestyle wise, like, what are the things that truly make you happy? What are the things that truly piss you off?
Mm-hmm.
Go and explore and find these things. Go do stuff. Go outside of your neighborhood. Travel if you can, if you have the ability to. Even if it's to the next city, travel. Go get outside of your bubble. Because the best actors that we've seen on screen and on stage, if you look at them, they are worldly people.
They get out.
They get out. They understand different things. They know different cultures. Like when you listen to them speak, they've got involved in so many different things. Yeah. And it's just like, well, that makes sense why I believe you every time I see you on screen.
I say that so much because there's so many actors that get so caught up in being an actor that, you know, they just dive into that and that only. And it's like, oh, we're going to go out with some friends. Nah, I got to work on this. We're going to have this cookout. We're going to do a trip. We're going to do X, Y, Z. Or have you tried doing this before? No. I'm still here working on this script. Like, all that stuff can help you. You got to live life. You got to live life. You know what I mean?
And have people to talk to. I'm finding in myself as I'm getting older, like, understanding and appreciating this more, which, you know, it's tough, man. When we're younger, you know, you go to your grandma's house or your grandpa's house or whatever you call them, Nana, Gran, or whatever, and you in your 20s, like, man, I'm trying to go to the club. They live out in the sticks. I don't know why you want to hear them talk about the old days. When you get older, you appreciate that because they are our storytellers, our elders, and they're like, you now go, man, that sounds like an interesting time back then. Or, man, this is, and I think it happens to everybody. You know, when you're a teenager, you're in your 20s, man, you're invincible. You ain't trying to hear all that. Then once you start getting in them 30s and 40s and up, you go, man, I didn't realize life goes by this quick. And so let me soak up everything I can, and that can help me in the stories that I'm telling and the art that I have. My
grandmother has some of the best stories. Me sitting down just talking to her on the phone. And she be telling me about stuff when she was coming up, her upbringing and stuff in Kinston, North Carolina, or LaGrange. And like, the writer in me is like, oh, this is a great story.
There you go.
I can build on this. Like, this would be so great. And now my mind started working. But if I don't have those conversations, then that thing doesn't spark. That thing does not happen. So no, I appreciate you explaining it like that.
Yeah, man, 100%. I think it's key, man, especially for younger actors starting in the game and coming in, man, because there's so much stimulation and exposure on social media, and a lot of it is misinformation. You know what I mean? Especially when it comes to this industry. A lot of it, everybody is not a coach. Everybody is not a teacher. Everybody is not an experienced actor to know everything about there is to know about the union and stage and also, like, yo, there's information, yes, but you got to decipher between what's the bullshit and what's real.
Absolutely.
You know, and how you do that is you go out and experiment. It's like, well, so this said this works, so I'm gonna try that. And nah, that ain't work for me.
Yeah.
You know, so
but be open.
But be open to it. That's the best thing you can. Being receptive as an actor is the best thing you can do.
And what I want to do is I do want to ask the questionnaire.
Oh yeah. We gotta get to that.
Yeah, get to the questionnaire. So of course, those of all who've been watching the Background Lounge, James Lipton was the curator for Inside the Actor Studio, and he always had a questionnaire. So I love going through the questionnaire. So, you know, rapid fire, like whatever comes to your mind.
Sure.
So Chris Greene, what is your favorite word?
Damn, there's so many. Probably bullshit.
Your favorite word is bullshit?
In general, because I use it a lot. Like, that's bullshit. Oh, some bullshit. Like, and it's not even about just being a favorite curse word. I think it's just, bullshit is not such a hard curse word. It's not really harsh.
Yeah.
But you could say it to anybody, even if they don't speak your language. When you say, you know, oh, that's bullshit. Like, people know that's not a good thing. There's no other way you could spin bullshit. It's just not a good thing.
Yeah, it's better than cap.
Right.
It's better than cap. Yeah.
Listen, man, that's my daughter's demo, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know, because when I first heard that word, I ain't gonna hold you. When I first heard that word, that's cap. I'm like, I was literally thinking about hats. Like, 'cause I'm a hat dude. I'm like, what is it? Certain way you wear your hat? Yeah. I really feel old now. And then when they explained it to me, I was like, that's the best word y'all could come up with. That's cap. Really? And my response was, that's some bullshit.
Yeah, that's some bullshit.
So yeah, that was some bullshit.
So what is your least favorite word? Cap? I'm just playing. What's your least favorite word?
At the risk of sounding cliche, honestly, no.
No.
And it's not that I don't enjoy being told no. It's just what follows it is never good.
Okay.
Like, I can understand if I tell you, you know, hey man, we need to do a part 2. I need to come back here. You're like, nah. Mm-hmm. Hopefully there's an explanation that follows it.
Yeah.
And you go, because I don't have the time. I can respect that. But usually when people tell you no, it's no.
They don't even know why.
Well, why?
They just, yeah.
And then the reason that comes out of thin air is, oh, well, you know, Mars didn't align with Venus. All right, bro. Okay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, just say you didn't want to.
Just say you didn't want to do it.
Just say you didn't want to do it.
And I'm cool with that too.
Yeah. So that's why I don't like no. Like, when I hear no, it's usually something that follows up that is like, come on, man. Like, you know I'm an actor, right? Mm-hmm. My job is to observe and kind of not only mimic but redo, like send back yes and.
Yeah.
So I can tell by your body language.
Subtext, body language.
Right, nonverbal communication that you're full of shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So just be honest, man. Just be honest. So no is definitely, I hate that word.
What's your favorite sound?
Oh, man. Hearing my daughter play her clarinet.
Okay. She must be good.
I didn't think she was good, because musically I could help her, but I'm like, baby, I didn't play that. So she has that drive to want to get it right. And so hearing where she started versus where she is now, and especially me being a music head, is like, I can tell the progress is there. And she'll play, and I'll sometimes have to force her to practice and rehearse. But when I hear her play, it's just like, all right, cool. And then she plays her saxophone. So I guess in general, not even just her clarinet, just hearing my daughter play her instrument. Like, no matter what kind of day I'm having, I feel better because I know she's in there going hard. And it's like, even when I hear her make a mistake, I'll hear her stop and then instantly hear her correct it. Because she knows, that's too sharp, that's too flat. Boom, and she'll fix it. Dope. So I enjoy hearing that sound.
Your least favorite sound?
It's a tie, but I guess this will edge it out. People, I'm gonna have to do this real quick. This is the camera I could look at right here. Yeah. Especially my people. Stop smacking your food when you eat. We should not hear, I don't care how good it is, the driest Popeye's biscuit with peanut butter can be solved with some water. We should not hear that when you eat, especially when you chewing gum. Like, I be wanting to choke people. Like, I'm not a violent person, but I be wanting to choke people. Like, when I hear people chewing gum, smacking, and then I just be looking at them.
It's like styrofoam.
It's like nails on a chalkboard. Some people, when I hear some people smack when they eat and you can't close your mouth, like, I've gotten up from tables and left. I've gotten up, paid my bill, and left. I can't do it. I can't do it.
Got you.
Can't do it.
What turns you on? Pause.
Confident women. And I don't mean confident in a sense of like, she a dime, she knows she bad. Like, if you ask her to do something and there's a slight hesitation, like, but then something just clicks and goes, all right, cool, I got it. 100% across the board. And I don't care what field they're in. It doesn't have to be actresses. I don't care what field they're in. You know, I've seen female cops approach like big dudes, you know, when I'm out in the event or something, and I'll watch everything because that's just how I do.
Yeah.
And I've seen small 5'2" female cops approach big dudes, and they and she'll poke her chest, excuse me, I'll take this badge off. And them dudes will be, I mean, I'm just saying why you got to come at, and then they'll cower. And I'm looking at Shorty like, yo, that's dope. That's sexy.
Yeah.
Because she's not worried about, oh, you think the size gonna matter?
Mm-hmm.
Let me go ahead and take this and put my hand in this ponytail, take these earrings out. It's like, yo, there's no fear. I think that's amazing. I think confidence in anybody is great and is a turn on, but in particular women, because I think because they are women, they're automatically, especially in an instance where it's something physical or something arduous, you know what I'm saying? Not necessarily mentally or emotionally, but just like physically, like doing a task or doing something complicated, they're automatically assume that they can't do it.
Yeah.
Because they're like, oh, get a guy to change that tire or whatever. Like, no, listen, even if I can't physically pick it up, I'm going to learn and figure it out. And then when I get to a point where I might need, hey, okay, that's a little heavy for me. Can you get that? But the fact that they did it, don't count me out. Just because.
Don't automatically count me out.
Don't do that.
Because I'm a woman.
Yeah,
right?
100%.
I got you. Okay. What turns you off? The lack of
the opposite. The opposite.
That's what I'm going to think.
No. Well, I ain't gonna say the opposite. I don't. It's not quite the opposite. I'm not a fan of people who they will front like they can do everything and then they can't, and when they're exposed that they can't, they get mad and take it out on you. If that makes any sense. So like if you tell me you could hoop and then you go in there and you suck. And I'm like, dog, I thought you could hoop. Man, you just a hater. No, you suck. Like, what you mean? Or like if, the tire change, it's like, okay, I could do it myself. I don't need a man. I can do it myself. All right, cool, go ahead. And then they don't know what they're doing. It's like, well, can you help me? So you just gave me all this shit for trying to help you and you can't do it and now you want me to help. Like, why didn't you just admit and say, you ain't got a front for nobody. Like, we all need help with something sometimes. Yeah. And so it's that I guess that know-it-all, that person is just like, yeah, I could do everything.
No room for growth.
Yeah, it's like, all right, bro, that's not a good look.
I don't like that. Annoys me too.
Yeah, it's not like that either. Like, that's a huge turn on. That makes me not want to be around you.
If you weren't in the entertainment industry at all, what occupation would you want to pursue?
I either was going to follow in the steps of my brothers, which again, either military or law enforcement. Or I would have been a music teacher because that's what I was going to school for.
Copy. And what occupation would you never want to try?
I don't know what their specific title is, but the nurses and doctors that work in neonatal. Seeing a child be born and then losing them immediately after that, or having to see babies in the NICU and know they're not going to make it, and having to tell the parent, yo, the kid ain't gonna make it.
That's hard.
There's no way in the hell I could do that.
Understand.
And kudos to everybody that does that. There's no way in the world I could do that. I'd have to quit. It's different, and not to say that death is easy to take, but it's different when, a husband or a wife or somebody who's lived life is in an accident, and as a doctor, I got to come out and tell you, look, I did everything I could. Your wife, they've lived a little. It's still hard, but to go through this experience of birthing a child for a parent, both parents, man and woman, and then there's issues, and I got to come back and tell you, you got a week with your kid, and that's it. Because they're not going to make it past a week. Yeah. And they're going to be in this little box, and you have to talk to them through there.
And now you got to go home with that.
And now you got to go home. And as a doctor, you got to go home with that. As a nurse, you got to go home with that. Knowing that you did everything you could, and it still wasn't good enough.
Yeah. And tomorrow it could be the same thing.
Ain't no way. And repeatedly have to do that.
Reliving it, right.
There's no way. No way, dude.
Okay. And last question. When you reach the pearly gates, what would you want God to say to you?
I know it's been rough conversations between us, and we bump heads. I know you my black sheep, but I told you I had your back.
Dope.
Yeah, dope. That would be nice. Yeah. To have that conversation where it's like, yeah, we've bumped heads, but being up there at the gates and then obviously getting to see my pops, my best friend, all the people that I've lost that I was close to, and be like, yeah, I told you I got you. You just had to be patient.
Chris Greene, hey man, I appreciate you, man.
Appreciate you.
Appreciate today. And definitely tell us where we can find you, and if there's anything that you're about to do that you want to talk on. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not on TikTok. I do have a Twitter page, but I'm not on it. So basically, the only two places you really can find me is Threads and Instagram. Threads, I would love to have conversations with you. People say I like to argue and all that. It's not argue. Nice debates. Threads is real. Same thing as Instagram. Obviously, we all know that. So real Chris Greene. Make sure you had the E on the end. Yeah. And then Instagram is that too. Much more active on Threads than Instagram. Like Instagram, I'll post, I might respond and get out of there.
Threads is popular, man. Twinkie Bird says she's on Threads all the time.
Yeah, it's because Threads, well, it's starting to, they need to get better with that. Threads, get better with this. It's starting in some spaces to get like Twitter a little bit. Excuse me, but every once in a while they'll correct that. That's the thing I like about Threads is not as many bots on there. So it's good conversation on there. But yeah, Threads and Instagram, you can hit me up on there. The acting studio is Life of an Actor. I think it's LOAA 365. In person, we do virtual. If you want me to come to your city or whatever and do a workshop, that's cool. Shout out to all the guest speakers that have come on and spoke to my students. And that's pretty much it. And then if you see me in the street, say what's up. Like I'm approachable. I'm not that guy. I'm not Hollywood by any means. I love having conversations with people. I said approach me, don't touch me. Right. You can come up to me.
I can dig.
I'm male, female, don't matter. Don't. If I don't know you, don't touch me because
I get it. Yeah, don't. Especially I don't know you. Don't invade my space.
Like you ain't gotta be, brother. You ain't gotta be this close in my face, especially in the restroom. I mean, that's the guy rule. Like all the fellas in know. Like there's a reason why it's one urinal over. Like you ain't gotta be all up on me. Hey man, I think I see you on brother. Can we wait till we get out the bathroom? It's cool. You know what I mean? Yeah. But
respect his space. Yeah. Respect his space, but you can still approach him, talk to him. Chris Greene, thank you so much for coming out today, man. It was a great conversation. Absolutely. Good getting to know you and finding out that we may be potentially cousins.
Hey, man. So, you know what I'm saying? We got to find that out. Do that, what is it? Not 23andMe, but whatever that thing is.
Yeah. We find, or we just ask our family, like, do you know who?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, hey, man, thank you again.
Appreciate you,
this is the BackGround Lounge. This is Chris Greene. Till next time.